Axl Rose has one of the worst reputations in the music industry, with many falling victim to his infamous temper, whether he's getting into fistfights with other musicians, inciting dangerous riots, or even bullying smaller bands. These are some of the people that have been destroyed, intimidated, and dismantled by the fury of Axl Rose, starting with the Fat Axl incident. Back in 2011, the singer ignited an online frenzy when new photos of him surfaced, revealing his noticeable weight gain. Fans quickly embraced the meme and created images of the singer featuring captions such as "Sweet Pie O' Mine," "Knock Knock Knocking on McDonald's Doors," and "Welcome to the Jungle, We've Got Tons of Cake," with the Fat Axl craze spreading like wildfire online. Axl, on the other hand, was enraged and subsequently demanded the removal of the unflattering images from the internet. The singer even went as far as putting his lawyers on the case, having them issue copyright takedown notices to eliminate any instances of Fat Axl photos. Unfortunately for him, his efforts to kill the meme backfired, only serving to draw even more attention to the very images he was trying to destroy. But even during the early days of Guns N' Roses, Axl was not easy to get along with. In 1988, while they were touring to promote their debut album, Appetite for Destruction, the band served as the opening act for Iron Maiden, wherein Rose made an enemy of the band's frontman Bruce Dickinson. During the tour stop in Quebec City, Canada, Guns N' Roses had to cancel their sound check due to Maiden's elaborate stage show preparations, frustrating Axl even before his performance. Rose later insulted the crowd for speaking French, the native language of Quebec, which angered Dickinson. Looking back at the show with Le Journal de Montréal in 2015, Dickinson opened up about his feelings towards Rose, stating, "I should have come on stage and given him a punch. How could he dare speak to my audience in that way? I always regretted not having done so." Later that same year, the two bands were booked to play at England's Monsters of Rock festival held at Castle Donington, where their mutual hatred for one another was made apparent. Axl Rose was interviewed prior to GNR's performance and sneered at the thought of being compared to Iron Maiden.
Have you got anything in common with Iron Maiden?
I hope not.
Why?
I don't know, they're nice guys, but it's like political organizations, your band's like a political thing, and your music or your album's kind of like your political stance. Well, theirs is completely different than ours, and I think theirs doesn't have anything to do with rock and roll as far as I'm concerned. We're a rock and roll band. What they do is what they do. I don't know what it is, and I hope to never be like that.
Tragically, during GNR's performance, disaster struck as two fans were fatally crushed amidst a crowd of over 100,000 fans dancing fervently to "It's So Easy." This followed Rose's repeated attempts to pacify the audience. However, this was not the final violent episode to unfold at a Guns N' Roses performance. During the band's performance of the song "Rocket Queen" at St. Louis, Missouri's Riverport Amphitheater, Rose would abruptly stop singing mid-chorus after spotting a fan in the audience taking pictures of him. The singer ordered security to confiscate the camera. However, they failed to act quickly enough, pushing him to take matters into his own hands. Rose dove into the crowd, snatched the fan's camera, and even hit a few other audience members for good measure before storming off the stage in a fit of rage.
Thanks to the lame-ass security, I'm going home.
The band's sudden exit infuriated the audience, setting off a 3-hour riot, injuring 65 people, including 25 police officers, and resulting in dozens of arrests and an estimated $200,000 in property damage. Events such as these helped earn Guns N' Roses a reputation as the most dangerous band in the world. The following year, Axl would be embroiled in one of the biggest rivalries in rock music history when he began feuding with Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil. The incident unfolded following Motley Crue's presentation of the Best Group and Best Metal Video Awards to Guns N' Roses for Sweet Child O' Mine at the 1989 MTV Music Awards ceremony. Following this, Neil remained backstage, waiting for Guns N' Roses guitarist Izzy Stradlin, who was accused of groping Neil's wife, Cherise, at an LA nightclub. While waiting in the wings, Neil seized the opportunity and punched Stradlin after he and the other members of Guns N' Roses had finished performing with Tom Petty. Axl Rose swiftly came to his bandmate's defense, rushing to join the melee as he screamed, "I'm going to kill you," at Vince Neil. Neil's bodyguards promptly defused the situation, preventing further punches from being thrown. Nevertheless, due to their fame, the clash garnered significant media coverage, escalating tensions. Rose subsequently made an appearance on MTV, boldly telling Neil that he was all set to settle things once and for all.
You know, standing up for Izzy and stuff, but Vince should be careful what golf courses he's mouthing off about Axl on and who he's playing golf with. You know, when he goes out playing golf, mouths off about Axl, and he happens to be playing golf with people that work for me, stories come back. Easy, you know, anytime he wants it, anywhere, Atlantic City, I don't care. We'll put money on it, you know. I don't care, you know. And then he tried to turn it around and say the same thing. But, you know, the invitation's there. I'm easy to find. If you really want to hassle, you know, we can have it out.
Roughly a year later, Neil finally broke his silence and issued his own statement during an exclusive interview with MTV.
What I want is, Axl, if you're watching this, I want to challenge you to a fight. I'm going to give you the time, and I'm going to give you the place, and there's no backing out now, buddy. And it's time to put up or shut up.
Neil further expressed his desire to stage the proposed showdown with Rose in an arena, broadcast to the world. Despite the media hype post Neil's interview, the brawl never materialized. Their rivalry faded into obscurity as Motley Crue's influence waned with the emergence of grunge and the rise of Nirvana, a band that would soon feel the wrath of Axl Rose. The GNR frontman surprisingly started out as a fan of Nirvana, even sporting a hat with the band's logo in their own music video, Don't Cry. However, this seemingly innocent act only seemed to agitate Kurt Cobain, leading him to voice his opinion in an interview, stating, "We're not your typical Guns N' Roses type of band that has absolutely nothing to say." The tension escalated when Nirvana refused a lucrative offer to tour with Guns N' Roses in 1992, a move perceived by Axl Rose to be a slap in the face. While Nirvana skipped the tour, San Francisco-based band Faith No More would claim the vacant opening slot. However, they soon came to have their own issues with Axl. As singer Mike Patton revealed in a 2021 interview, he even urinated on the singer's teleprompter in retaliation to Axl's treatment of his band. In the meantime, animosity between Nirvana and Guns N' Roses continued to grow, with Axl even burning a Nirvana hat on stage. The GNR frontman would tear into Cobain in front of thousands of fans, alluding to rumors that Cobain's daughter, Frances Bean, may have been born with birth defects due to his wife Courtney Love's drug use. The legendary frontman had numerous heated exchanges over the years, culminating in a dramatic face-to-face altercation backstage at the 1992 MTV Video Music Awards. The tension escalated when Courtney Love mockingly suggested making Rose the godfather of Frances Bean Cobain in response to his onstage remarks. Axl's response was intense, telling Cobain, "You shut your bitch up, or I'm taking you down to the pavement." Later, following Nirvana's performance of Lithium, drummer Dave Grohl further fueled the situation by taunting Rose over the speakers. However, Nirvana still had one last trick up their sleeve. Rose was preparing to close the show with a duet of November Rain alongside Elton John. Two pianos on hydraulic lifts were set up for the ambitious stage performance. Cobain mistakenly spat on Elton's piano, thinking it was Axl's. The members of Guns N' Roses retaliated by attempting to tip over Nirvana's trailer, unaware that only baby Frances Bean and her nanny were inside. Fortunately, they stopped upon realizing the child's presence, averting a potential disaster, which is more than we can say about Guns N' Roses and Metallica's infamous 1992 co-headlining tour, which saw tensions between the two larger-than-life bands quickly escalate.
We can relate to Axl and his attitude, you know. So we learned quite a bit on what not to do.
Early on, Metallica's frontman James Hetfield was even caught on camera mocking the strict and specific demands on Axl Rose's personal tour rider. The humor was lost on Axl, setting the stage for an unexpected clash of personalities.
Just crap. Bunch of hooey.
Things only got worse when, only 7 songs into Metallica's set, Hetfield was set ablaze by an improperly placed pyrotechnic blast. The singer suffered third-degree burns, with his injuries understandably bringing the band's set to a sudden end. Guns N' Roses had a chance to rescue the night for fans with an epic set. Sadly, Axl's decision to prolong the intermission for 3 hours and cut the show short after just 9 songs due to a sore throat had disastrous consequences. The enraged crowd spiraled into rioting within the stadium, overflowing into the streets. Fans overturned police cars, looted souvenir booths, and ignited multiple bonfires, resulting in an estimated $600,000 worth of damage to the stadium and its surroundings. Metallica's road crew reported that Rose displayed minimal remorse following the chaotic incident.
He could have been the hero of the day, you know? We continue the show and, the band plays on and we're here to bring music and he throws this fit.
After the tour, Metallica made no secret of their opinions on Guns N' Roses. Kirk Hammett criticized Axl's volatility, while James Hetfield publicly condemned Axl's attitude and even implied that Guns N' Roses were a sorry excuse of a band. When Guns N' Roses subsequently played near Metallica's turf, Axl retaliated against Hetfield, sparking a chaotic exchange with fans hurling bottles.
This is for you, Lars, and you, James. This is called double talking jive, mother.
But Axl's fury was not solely directed at rival bands. His own bandmates were also subjected to his wrath. GNR's legendary guitarist Slash often found himself at odds with Axl over the years. The breaking point came when Slash left Guns N' Roses after the band's poorly received covers album, The Spaghetti Incident, in 1996. Speculation of significant artistic differences between the two circulated, with Slash later confirming Axl's authoritarian grip on the band as a key reason for his exit. Axl allegedly required band members to sign limiting contracts that Slash viewed as diminishing their roles to mere employees, and even seized sole ownership of the band's name.
It wasn't even me necessarily leaving the band. It was not continuing on with the new band that Axl put together that he was now at the helm of, which was the new Guns N' Roses, and I was, given a contract to basically join his new band.
Slash forged ahead by forming the rock supergroup Velvet Revolver with his former Guns N' Roses bandmates Duff McKagan and Matt Sorum, along with Stone Temple Pilots frontman Scott Weiland on vocals. In August of 2005, the guitarist filed a lawsuit against Axl, alleging that the singer changed publishers of GNR songs without consent and kept the royalties for himself. Rose retaliated by countersuing Slash, adding to the drama by claiming Slash visited his home uninvited to propose a truce, and expressed negative sentiments towards his current Velvet Revolver bandmates. Rose alleged that Slash described bassist Duff McKagan as spineless, said that he hates drummer Matt Sorum, and called singer Scott Weiland a fraud. Weiland retaliated with a fiery open letter on Velvet Revolver's official site, dubbing Rose as a fat, Botox-faced, wig-wearing Weiland continued, "Don't think for a second we don't know where those words came from. Your unoriginal, uncreative little mind. The same mind that had to rely on its bandmates to write melodies and lyrics. What we're talking about here is a frightened little man who once thought he was king. But unfortunately, this king without his court is nothing but a memory of the he once was." The drama escalated with the announcement of the classic Guns N' Roses lineup's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The problem was, Axl was still touring under the name Guns N' Roses, having seized ownership of the band and touring with a hodgepodge of hired musicians. With unresolved conflicts lingering among former members, Rose chose to abstain from the induction, fearing that sharing the stage with them would detract from the new iteration version of GNR that he was touring with. Yet, despite Axl's focus on his hired musicians, several have shared negative experiences. For instance, guitarist Bumblefoot described his 8-year tenure in GNR as miserable and frustrating, leading to a severed relationship with Rose. Keyboardist Chris Pittman even sued Rose for over $100,000 in unpaid wages. Bands that opened for the new Guns N' Roses fared no better, with Axl spending the majority of 2006 tormenting bands that dared to tour with him. The Eagles of death metal faced an abrupt dismissal on the first day of a tour due to Rose sensing disinterest from the audience. Papa Roach found themselves forced to issue an apology to Rose under the looming threat of tour expulsion after voicing concerns to the press about his disorganization. And Bullet for My Valentine disclosed that they never even met Rose during their Guns N' Roses tour, denouncing his treatment of other bands. Yet even with Axl Rose's notorious reputation for tyranny, the iconic Guns N' Roses lineup of Axl and Duff McKagan reunited in 2016 for the Not in This Lifetime tour, the third highest grossing tour ever. Since then, the reunited group has maintained a steady touring schedule, even releasing new tracks, with Slash telling Louder Sound magazine, "In all these years that we've been apart, he's become super professional, and he's never missed a beat during this whole time. Everybody is older and wiser now."